Well, hello. What's up, Hatch Tribe? How's it going? Let me just make sure that I'm going to be able to allow our special guest to join us here in just a minute. Okay, so we have a special guest today. Her name's Holly Fisher, and she's going to be on in just a minute. She is one of our Hatch Tribe ambassadors. She has been part of Hatch Tribe probably since just about day one. So we launched our business, our community in 2016, and she's been around since forever. And I've actually had the opportunity to work with Holly outside of Hatch Tribe. She actually did some of our PR and marketing work for a festival that I actually sold. It's called Charleston Beer Garden, and they've recently rebranded. She's been involved. That's been really, really cool. But anyway, today Holly's going to join us, and we're going to talk about some other fun stuff that's been on her mind. But while I'm waiting for her to join, I wanted to just share a couple of things. One, if we've never met before, that's possible. My name's Hilary Johnson. I'm the founder of Hatch Tribe, and I work with women entrepreneurs just like you to help you launch and grow your business. And one of the things that we know is critically important as a business owner is having a really strong network, a strong community, people that you can lean on, you can trust for good advice, and that you've got them at the drop of a hat. I see Holly's on. Let me get her. Okay, I'm going to put her on. So you know, while she's popping on, that the Member Circle, which is our exclusive community for women entrepreneurs, is actually opening enrollment on May 1st, which is next Wednesday, 1 week from today. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am well. Hey, Shannon, I see that you're on. And hey, Misty, how's it going? Good to see you too. So Holly, since we're just popping on here, I gave a precursor of you and what you do, but I would love for you to introduce yourself to our community and tell us a little bit about your work.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me. So I actually have a couple of businesses. One is a marketing company, Fisher Creative, that I started back in November of 2011. And it has sort of morphed over the years from doing social media marketing, public relations, copywriting, websites, all sorts of different things, now to really focusing largely on marketing messaging. So really working with companies to help them get clear about what they do, the problems that they solve for their customers, and then how they can turn that into copy that generates more leads.
I love it.
So yeah.
And then tell us about your other business.
So I have that business. Yes, I have that business. And then my husband and I own CrossFit Charleston, CrossFit Gym here in the Charleston area that we purchased last summer.
So awesome. Your anniversary is going to be coming up really soon. Oh, so exciting.
For the business. I know, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure it seems like it. I know. I can't believe it was already last summer. I'm like, it seems like it was yesterday. Of course, it probably doesn't for you.
Right. Some days it feels so long, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. One of the things that you mentioned when you were talking about Fisher Creative and your work, working with businesses, is this idea around storytelling and really helping people figure out who they are and what they do. And yesterday I had a funny conversation with another business, and they had kind of gone through an activity on their own, trying to just come up with a statement of this is who we are. And we were joking about how hard that can sometimes be to do for yourself, because you get, I told him, I said, I think the problem is you get so close to it in your own business that you're like, what do I do? So sometimes it's like you need help. Like you need help for someone to draw it out of you and help you land on the right words and the right essence of what it is that you do, because oftentimes you just can't articulate it.
That's 100%. I have worked with some businesses where, they're like, oh, well, this is what we do. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't understand what you're doing here. And they're like, oh, well, I thought this was perfectly clear. You know, so it does really help sometimes to have somebody from the outside come in, because those are what your prospective customers are thinking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that's how I approach it. I sort of come in as like, okay, if I were a potential customer, potential client for you, would I know what you do?
Right.
Not maybe not.
Yeah. And you use the story brand sort of framework to help guide people through that. And
Yes.
I can't remember the author of that book, but you probably know. Will you mention that?
Yep. Yeah, sure. So Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. A lot of people have read that book. That's how a lot of people find me. They read that book and they kind of get into the process and then need some help. And so I actually went through their certified guide training program a little over a year ago. So that is definitely the tool that I rely on for walking businesses through this process. And it's super helpful.
That's awesome.
It's
Cool.
awesome. I highly recommend that book if you haven't read it.
Yeah, for sure. Add it to your list. Those of you who are watching, you can put on your Amazon ever-growing book list. And
Yes. Yes. Mine is huge. Yeah.
yes, so is mine. Okay, so today I wanted to talk with you about a topic that's been on your mind lately. So tell me about that topic.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, of course, I have 2 businesses that I'm working on. And so for me, it's become a real challenge trying to figure out how to balance both of those.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. There's a lot of folks that keep their full-time jobs and they start something on the side, or they have a couple of part-time gigs going. And it's very difficult to successfully manage 2 businesses.
Yeah.
I've told someone just the other day that it's very hard to get full-time results from part-time work.
Yes.
Right. Or even quarter time work. And so we're wanting to, you want your businesses to grow and succeed and you want to build them. And that takes your full attention and your full effort. So one of the things that I've really been kind of considering and looking at and thinking about really since kind of the beginning of the year has been how to make this work, and really kind of looking at, okay, in my marketing business, are there some ways that maybe I scale down a little bit? Am I more selective in the projects that I do?
Right.
Really looking at what are the things that give me the most return on my investment.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes hard to say no to dollars,
of
right?
course.
When people call and want work, your first inclination is to say, yes, absolutely.
Right.
You don't want to turn away money.
But sometimes it's necessary.
Sometimes you have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have to really look at that and go, okay, well, if I spend 10 hours on this and 10 hours on that, where am I getting the biggest bang for my buck? So
without a doubt.
I think it's hard. It's not easy to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's necessary to really make the businesses as successful as they can be.
No question. And I think, this is kind of a universal story that like manifests in different ways. In your case, it's like you have 2 different businesses that have completely different work streams and different
totally
things
different,
that are happening, right? For other people, I think often it's like managing the business and managing our families, especially for people with kids, which of course you have children, and it's like managing family and business that is 2 different work streams, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
And I think for other people, it also can be just inside your own business, managing sometimes separate products or separate services. And, I can think about a lot of people who coach, but they also sell something too. And it's like navigating the exchange of time sometimes for the other things that they do. And I think you bring up a good point, which is that it is challenging and there's no one right answer for it. But I think that sometimes it's like really looking at the things that we do and say, where do I get the best return on my time and investment?
Yeah.
If I'm putting in this time and energy, where am I getting the biggest return?
Absolutely. There are a couple of services that I just stopped offering because I was like, they take a lot of time. They take a lot of energy. They're kind of stressful.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not the best use of my time, my resources. The return is just not there. So I'm just not going to do that for people any longer. And so it's a little bit, again, it's a little hard to do that sometimes. But, to grow, you kind of have to trim.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to prune away those things that just aren't helpful, and instead focus on the things that are really really getting you, really moving you forward?
I was backing away from my desk for a minute because I wanted to grab this book, because it's related to this conversation. It's called Essentialism. This is probably going to be backwards on the screen, but
Oh, yes.
by Greg McCowan, I guess is probably how you say his last name. And I oddly enough had heard about it on Armchair Expert when Dax Shepard was interviewing, of all people, Chelsea Handler. And Chelsea Handler said she had read this book, and I thought, this is strange. But she said that she was really struggling in her own business because, of course, she produces shows, she does comedy, she writes, and she was like, I'm really struggling to even find the joy in the work that I do anymore. And so she read this work, and she said it really helped her get to the point of being able to land on what it was she wanted to do that was truly like the essence, in this case, like essential to what she wanted to be bringing to the forefront. And she said for the first time ever, she wrote a book and found joy in the process of writing the book, whereas in the past it hadn't felt joyful. And I think that like, to me, as I've been reading this, and I'm still like, I'm not very far in it, but one of the things that's sort of underscoring for me is exactly that process you've gone through, is like looking at our service mix and backing it down and being like, some of this stuff I don't want to do. Great, cool, don't do it. And then how do we get to like the essence of the things we really enjoy that fit our skill set, that fit our customer base? And that's where we can build real value and be, I think, stronger business owners too.
Well, yeah, instead of spreading ourselves so thin, trying to offer 20 different things to people and doing them all okay, you know, instead we can offer one or two things and really do them well. And so that's where I just, I felt like I was just spreading myself really thin. And so it was like, all right, it's time to let some things go. And, you know, I think I went, gosh, I've been in business and working for many years. And I was like, you know, I'm not going to do the stuff I don't want to do anymore.
Right. I get it. Let me ask on the other side, have you also looked at like your team and at the people that work with you and thought about how you can delegate some of the activities to other people so that it's not you having to do all of the stuff? Has that been part of your process too?
Well, so what's interesting is that a couple of years ago, I did bring on some part-time folks. And then as part of my streamlining and pruning down process at the end of last year, I actually took some clients that I had been working with and passed them completely off to these women, and they spun off their own marketing businesses and then kind of already had these clients. And so we still collaborate on a few things and still kind of work together. Yeah. But that was a great way for me to also kind of, you know, back down a little bit, but not just like let clients just go, well, sorry, I can't help you anymore and you're on your own. So that was a really great, made me feel better to be able to go, okay, well, here's someone that is going to be taking care of you now, and she's awesome. And you probably won't even notice I'm gone. Right. So that was really great. And so now too, when things come across my desk where someone's asking for something and I can't do it, I don't have the time to do it, it's not something I'm offering anymore. Now I can go to them and say, hey, do either of you, want this? And I do still have an intern that helps me with a lot of the sort of small things that are just kind of administrative type stuff that needs done. You know, I have a bookkeeper that does that kind of thing. You know, so I definitely try to outsource the things that are not the best use of my time.
100%.
Or again, I don't want to do, like the bookkeeping.
Oh God, for sure. It's funny, Elizabeth actually said, did you consider hiring someone under you to do those things instead of eliminating them? So we were thinking the same thing at the same time. I think one of the things too, because I'm hearing this coming up a lot from other entrepreneurs, and it's the question of what's the direction I want to grow my business, and do I want to have a team, and do I want to offer all these services? And sometimes that answer is emphatically no. And that's awesome. So it's like, you don't have to have a business with 10 or 15 employees. Like, if you don't want that, don't build that. Like, build the business you want to build and do the things that you want to do. And of course, that's not to say like the first year or two, you're probably taking on all kinds of stuff, trying to figure out what that is. So
Yes.
For those of you who are in that moment in time, like know that that's normal. The first couple of years, you're definitely like, I'll take anything that I can put money in my pocket.
That's right. That's right. If you will pay me, I'll do it.
Amen.
Right? But then that's the beauty of getting a little bit further along in your business, right?
Yes.
Then you can step back and go, what do I want to do?
Absolutely.
What am I really good at that people are going to pay me for? And what are some of the other things that I can let go? But there's also a lot of time invested in managing a team as well. So if you have a team of people, even though they're doing some of the work, you know, I was like, it's still my business. I still have to be involved. I still have to know what's going on. And so that's still time consuming.
Really great point.
So for me, it made sense to just kind of pass things off.
Love it. Good thoughts. Well, I'm probably taking up more of your time than I've even planned to, but I did, before we go, of course, I mentioned before you came on that you're one of our ambassadors for Hatch Tribe. And I was saying, I think you've been around since like almost day one, because you've been part of our community since 2016. And we're opening the doors for the member circle on May 1st, which is 1 week from today. And I just thought it'd be fun for you to share some thoughts about Hatch Tribe and what it's meant to you or to your business. Just, you know, shoot them straight.
Yeah, sure. No, I think it's such a great organization, you know, for a couple of reasons. One is there's so much great content, incredible courses, webinars, resources that are available. I'm always trying to figure out how I can have time to like watch everything go through everything. Because there's just really a lot of, it's just really a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so valuable if you are in business, whether you've been in business, you know, a month or 7, 8, 10 plus years. I think there's always, you know, we're always learning. There's always new stuff. Things are always changing. And so it's just a great way to kind of keep up and keep your skills sharp. And then it's also just a nice collaborative space for women business owners. You know, there's always somebody in there asking a question or sharing a resource. And I think that's really valuable place for us to bounce ideas off of each other, commiserate a little bit if we need to, right?
That's it sometimes.
Whatever.
I know.
Celebrate, commiserate, whatever.
Yes.
All of the above.
Well, thank you for sharing that feedback. I know, you know, I always have my own perspective of what it is, but I think it's meaningful to hear it from, you know, our community, because you're the ones that are experiencing it, you know, live and in color and managing your businesses. And so I greatly appreciate your feedback and obviously your involvement in our community. Holly actually did a workshop with us last year where we talked about marketing and we talked about low cost things that you can do for your business to market and promote. And that is a course that's inside the member circle that you've got access to 24/7. So if any of you are watching this, you're a member right now, you can actually get access to that in the courses section. So that is there.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was.
That was
I loved it. And it's loaded with good ideas. So I think if you're, you know, thinking I need to brush up my marketing, go pop in there. There's some good stuff. Awesome.
For sure.
Well, anything else you want to add before we go?
No, this was fun. Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah. Thanks for popping on and sharing some wisdom.
Anytime.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your day, Holly. And to all of you who joined us online, thank you so much. And if you're watching the replay, thank you. And if you want us to talk to a specific person in the future, or you have a topic you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. All right. Thank you, Holly. See you soon.
Thanks. Thanks, Hilary.
Bye.